Today we're going to add a first-person camera. We'll start by opening the repo. Here we're going to look for the same world that we're in. We'll enter that. We'll see two systems, ours from our own computer and the server side. In the base root is what we're looking for. We'll find a game key bindings.ini file. We're going to drag that up and place it in our own file up here. Then we're going to open that file with a text reader. Here we're going to add one line under the input camera section. It's going to be first person camera engaged. This is be a variable within the input camera script. Then we can save and close this file out. Then we bring our game key bindings.ini file back to our main file here, and we'll override that, which has our new script complete into it. Then we can close our repo. Next, we're going to open a script called input camera. Underneath the mouse move function, we're going to add a function called setup FP camera. What this will do is set it up for the first person. Once we get to this section, characters node ref will be their character node, so we're going to get that character node. Then we're going to set the character render value to false, so it's not going to show on screen. And we're going to set our character mouse transparent to true, so that we don't click on the character. Next, we're going to check if the character has not been there. If it is there and we find it, we're going to add the controller as a class of node, as a node ref of class AC controller. Set up a vector for a value to change. And we'll say if the character is kind of a controller owner, then the controller, the value we set up here, will equal the character get AC controller. Now, if that controller doesn't equal none, there's a lot of checking here to see that we don't get errors. And our zero value from the vector, the Y value is going to be set to 0. Now, our AC controller dot set game camera rotational offset is going to be based on that new Y value we set for our O. After that, we'll have set camera offset, and our game camera is the one that's currently being used, and we'll set the value to 0.0. Then we're going to set a command state, and the command state is for the camera. And here we're going to set first person camera engaged variable to true. After that, we're going to create another function, our third person camera. This will set up the OS camera. Characters and node ref of HP node. Similar to what's up here, but here we're going to get the node, and we're going to get the player character node. The character's render is going to be changed to true this time. We're going to see the character back on screen. And where mouse transparent is going to be set to false, so we can click on the character. Now here we have a little bit of camera offset. GCO as a float will get the camera offset from the game camera. And if the GCO is greater than 1.5, then the GCO will equal max of 1.5. and we're going to set the camera offset of game to GCO value. Next, for our third person camera, we're going to set free look of the game camera to false, and then we're going to set a command. For the camera, first person engaged will be false. Below that, we're going to change our mouse wheel function so that it can determine when to load in each one of these functions. There'll probably be some bunch of factors in here, but we're going to change that so that it works with what we need. The GCO is a float. We'll get the camera offset of the game camera. We're going to take that value and add the delta that's coming in as an integer times our 0.008. That value should probably be there already. And we're going to compare it with our GCO is greater than 1.333s. Then we're going to set it to a max of 133s, and we're going to set our camera offset the game to that GCO value. Now here's where we do our compare. At this max value here, just to point out, is how far you can scroll your mouse wheel away from the character. If you increase this value, 1.5 or 2 point something, it will allow you to see from very far away on your character. Here, we're going to say that if our GCO is greater than or equal to 0.22, then we're going to switch to our third person camera, set up the OS camera. Else, we're going to be at the first person camera. And then we're going to return true that says we did what we needed to do in our mouse function. Next, we're going to create a script client side. When we click on New Client Script, and we're going to type in B_ACCC camera. And this is just going to have one function in it for now. It's going to be a public function, check RMB or the right mouse button. Elapsed as a time interval. mychar as node ref of class HB node. And ACC as a node ref of class EACC controller. So we're going to take the controller script node ref, and we're going to bring it into here and be able to use its fields and its functions from inside, or methods, which is the reason for using methods over functions in that case. It's going to start out and say, if not, get the command state of the mouse is a right button, or get command state of the camera is first person engaged. Then we're going to perform this area. And it says desired rotation as a vector equals a CCC dot hero engine ACC desired rotation. So we're going to get our desired rotation from that script, and we're going to change the Y value plus 90 degrees. This 90.0 is a float. We're then going to set the node rotation based on my character coming in to our desired rotation after it's been changed. And then we're going to call a script ACC.HEACC do slide turn based on our elapsed time value. And this is used for our torso twist. Next, we're going to add some calls to our function here, and that will be in the ACC controller class methods. To open that script, you can simply right-click on this function as it's inside that script. and that will open that function with our slide turn. In certain areas we're going to put in the calls to the method. Our first one will be in the method HEACC resolve navigation. And here we have our call will be just under this if statement. We're going to check to see if it's moving, and if it's moving we're going to call our check to the right mouse button. So we'll put our script name, BACC's camera, check right mouse button. We're going to send in the elapsed time from up here, my chart from up here, and me, which refers to this script. And it's going to call the method. Now we have another place we're going to add this in. The new rotation is going to be near the end of this function, just above the gravity and the check for the settings. We're going to add it in right here. This will be just under new check here to prevent always running bug, under the end check. Our BACC camera, check right mouse button, elapsed, my chart, and me. The same three values, so we can copy paste it here. Then we're going to comment out this section, which checks the always slide turn. And we're going to set it based on our right mouse button. It's going to override this part. We have one more part to add in here, and that is in ACCC Navigate Local. In the camera section, we're going to add our new rotation. It's going to say if Hero Engine ACC state does not equal the move, MOVE, be a move state. We're then going to set me ACCC rotation done equal to false, and then return after setting that value. We're going to skip the rest. Next, we're going to open player character class methods, and in the onReplication field updated function, come down to where it says level. And what this does, raises a lightweight event and does the upload node and the level updated. So when that level is updated, it will equip a player weapon. What we're going to do is comment that out for now. That will show the weapon, and we don't want the weapon showing when we go into first person character. We could do a check on that. I don't think it'll come into replication field each time because the node has not been updated. The level is not getting updated, so it will not check this every time. Therefore, we'll just comment it out here. Okay, on each of these we should be able to compile and submit them. They should be good to go. So we'll be able to remove the script, and here we should have our character. Now it might not do it right away. If you see the weapon, what you want to do is hit escape to log out, and then we'll log back in, and that should remove the weapon. Now here we got first person, so when we scroll the mouse in and out, we can go all the way in, and it should not show the character. But if we turn around, we won't see the character here. And we go back on the mouse, we will see the character. So we're switching between first and third that way. Another thing that's been added is when you hold your right mouse button in and move your mouse across the screen, you can see the front of your character. Normally it would just turn the face away from you, but here it'll turn and stay that way. Now you can let go of the right mouse button and move your mouse around. It won't affect the character. You can even use the keys Q and E to turn and rotate the character, and it won't affect the character's constant turn back, so we've overridden that part. Now if you push the W key, you'll go forward no matter which angle you're facing. This little mouse will show which way you are facing, not necessarily the character. And that's our tutorial on the first-person camera.